The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. The Pharisees went off and plotted how they might entrap Jesus in speech. They sent their disciples to him with the Herodians, saying, "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man, and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. And you are not concerned with anyone's opinion, for you do not regard a person's status. Tell us then, what is your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not?" Knowing their malice, Jesus said, "Why are you testing me, you hypocrites? Show me the coin that pays the census tax." And they handed him the Roman coin. He said to them, "Whose image is this and whose inscription?" They replied, "Caesar's." At that he said to them, "Then repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I always tend to smile a little bit when I hear this gospel. So I remember, as a police officer, preparing for court, preparing to answer those questions that try to mess you up. And I remember, as an instructor of police officers, trying to prepare them for what they'd face with the attorneys that were trying to get you to say one thing, and maybe that just wasn't quite the right answer. Well, this is what the Pharisees were doing some 2,000 years ago at the time of Christ. Their question is, should we pay taxes or not? Yes or no? Jesus answered yes. He was acknowledging the Roman occupation. And if he said no, he was insulting the emperor. But as we know, Jesus doesn't play their games. His response sort of caught them up in their own word games. He turned the question back on them, but he used a different perspective. He's basically saying, who do you belong to? Caesar or God? You know, it's right we respect the laws and customs of the country where we live. But if we see ourselves as children of God primarily, then our loyalty belongs to God first. We pay our debts to society and government through taxes and by working to make it a better society because we have a duty to do so. But our goal should be a much greater one than this world. Using our gifts and talents to give glory to the Father in heaven who has given us all these gifts. And it's good that we develop our talents to the best of our ability. We hear about the importance of protecting and saving American lives and trying to improve the American economy. And there's nothing wrong with that. But a Christian perspective reaches further. So we talk about the importance of protecting human lives, not just people who belong to one country or another. You know, I get so frustrated when I hear the protests that this life matters more than any other. We need to realize that all lives matter and that each one of us can make a difference. We take pride in our nation, and so we should. But faith transcends borders. And it doesn't, or certainly shouldn't, discriminate between different people. We must see ourselves as children of God first, regardless of where we come from and regardless of what we believe. Ultimately, we believe we'll end up in the same place with God if we make the right choice. No matter where we may have come from, the laws of God don't change. The call of Jesus is the same to all of us, no matter where we come from or how we see the world. Now, politicians change, sometimes pretty regularly. And governments come and go. But the presence of Jesus is the same everywhere. And it's much greater than anything we'll encounter in this world. So who do you belong to? Our money's stamped with a government mark. It belongs to the government. Whose mark is on you? Sometimes things happen and we're faced with diseases like Ebola, natural disasters, terrorist attacks, and other frightening things all around the world. And they make us sit up and listen. That's when we start thinking about what's really important. What if one of your children become very sick? Or someone close to you? Maybe you could realize that that could have been you or one of your loved ones at that concert the other week in Las Vegas. We think back a few years, how did we all feel on 9/11? Suddenly things that we consider important, usually they change drastically. We ask different questions, and probably much more important ones. Who do I belong to? What is my life on earth about? Is it just about acquiring as many comforts and material things as possible? Or are all those things just trivial? When we're faced with catastrophes, they help us to listen and hear what's truly important. Who do I belong to? What can I do to make a difference? You know, we've got a group of women from this parish in Jamaica this week working with the mustard seed communities. They're there to make a difference. Every day, our St. Vincent de Paul Society helps the needy in our community. They're making a difference. Our youth reach out to the residents of Woodcrest and Hosea House. They're making a difference. Our folks that are dealing and participating in Family Promise are reaching out to help others that need it. They're making a difference. And you know, each of you in your generosity over the last couple of weeks are making a difference to those affected by the hurricanes in Mexico and Texas and the Caribbean. And each and every one of you that have become a part of the United Catholic Ministries, praying for and inviting people to come back to the church, are making a difference. You know, this world is thirsting for the spiritual. Spirituality is the new words on the lips of many people. And I don't think they really realize where that spirituality comes from. Some people believe that it's from within ourselves. But what it truly is a direct gift from God. We receive that gift of spirituality, and we are His messengers. We're His means of communicating with all those people that need to hear that word. We need to prepare ourselves for this vital ministry. But in the end, the question remains, to whom do you belong? God or Caesar?